At the edge of the world, in the days when the earth was flat and Jerusalem was the center of the world, there was a boy named Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta lived on the very edge of the earth, near the shores of the ocean of darkness. Nothing but night lay to the west, but to the east lay the golden world, and he dreamed of traveling across it. On maps, he would trace his finger along scarlet roads to reach the vermilion stars that marked the great cities of the world. On hot afternoons, in an imaginary boat, he would cross cool, peacock-colored seas to the eastern edge of the earth and sail fearlessly into the ocean of ignorance. When he grew up, he wore the turban of a scholar and could recite the Quran. At 21, he decided to go to Mecca as a pilgrim. Here begins his story.
The lonely road. At last, after hours of riding, we reached the gates of a large city in safety. People ran out to greet us. Friends found friends. But there was no one to greet me. Tears of loneliness filled my eyes. Then a man turned to me and smiled, saying, "Welcome, pilgrim. Welcome to our home." Traveling? I said to myself later, what makes you lonely? Then gives you a friend.
A night in the land, watered by the moon, the Egyptians were as generous as the Nile. Because I was scholar and a pilgrim, they gave me alms, food, money, and a place to sleep. Near Alexandria, a holy man invited me to stay in his house and sleep on his roof. That night, a giant bird snatched me up and carried me on its back far beyond Mecca. Then I woke up. "Not only will you go to Mecca," said the holy man when I told him my dream, "but you will also travel to the edge of the earth."
At the center of the world, in Jerusalem, I stood at the center of the world. I could go anywhere from here. If I took this road, I will be on my way to India and China. That road to Zainab. Traveling. It offers you 100 roads to adventure and gives your heart wings.
South to Zanj. Hot, salty waves crashed onto the ship. At first I was terrified, but slowly I learned to love the sea. We sailed down the coast of Ivory and Ebony, of gold dust and leopard skin. I could find no words to describe the beauty I saw. Everywhere I went, Sultan asked me about my home and about my travels under warm African stars. I found the words I needed and told them all I could. Traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller.
To the land of flying money, the Sultan's palaces in Delhi was huge. In one great hall were elephants bowing to the Sultan. Into this hall I entered because I was a scholar. The Sultan made me judge of Delhi. After 9 years of traveling, I was a rich man. If I pleased the Sultan, money. If I displeased him, death. Once I so angered him that he sent assassins after me, but I had a plan. They would not kill me while I prayed, so for 9 days I prayed, until they finally left. What kind of life was this? I gave everything away and thought happiness as a poor man. The Sultan wanted me back, but he had nothing I wanted. Then he offered to send me to China as his ambassador. He knew my heart. I could not refuse. I was on the road again, and rich, but for how long?
On the shores of good fortune, Chinese junks as big as palaces awaited us, their captain anxious to leave before the sky broke open. Some ships left the first day we arrived, others stayed, huddled in the harbor. Then the storm came. It spread its black wings over the sea and sank the Chinese ships. Everything was lost. I alone was spared, for I had stayed ashore for Friday's prayers. I knelt on the beach and gave thanks for my life.
In China, I boldly announced that I was the long-lost ambassador from India. The Chinese bowed and sent a boat to take me up the water of life to the capital. I floated by crowded cities, fat fields, plum orchards. Everywhere there was silk. The black silk of merchants, the flowered silk of girls, the heaven-colored silk of priests. Everything at the eastern edge of the world was alive, moving and fluttering. Then I met a friend from the western edge of the world. We embraced. Oh, the miles traveled, the years gone by. Our tears fell. Traveling, it had captured my heart, and now my heart was calling me home.
That black as night, at the center of the world, the plague lay in wait. Everywhere there was death. Everywhere there were peopleless cities. In Damascus, I learned that my father had died 15 years earlier. When I was only a few miles from home, I heard that my mother had just died from plague. I wept. In my hometown, a boy asked if I was lost. I only smiled. Traveling gives you a home in thousands of strange places, then leaves you as a stranger in your own land.
A traveler's reward, Ibn Battuta returned, not with the wealth of jewels or golden coins, but with the wealth of traveling his memories. In age of few books, he spun these memories into stories and led his listeners down scarlet roads and opened their eyes to the world. In boats made of words, he took his friends across peacock-colored seas and showed them the new horizon. I wish I could go where you went. See what you saw, a child once said. You can, said the old traveler, his eyes aglow. Traveling, all you need to do is take the first step.